Hello everyone. So today we are going to work on a simple AI system which allows these helicopters to take off and then land after a while through an AI controller. So here is the preview. Okay, so let's see how to do that today. And this episode is sponsored by these generous patrons. Thank you very much for your support. Okay, so we already have these helicopters that are that the player can possess and player can ride them, but still we don't have we haven't thought of how to make them controlled by an AI. So that maybe an enemy helicopter can attack player helicopter. So that's what I want to look into next. So first let's go to attack helicopter. Not the attack helicopter. Let me open the base helicopter, the parent class, which is this BP helicopter. So here we don't have anything special. So as for the basic inputs, these are what we have. We have move up, and in the event tick, if we are flying, we just take this forward and right input axis values and control the helicopter accordingly. Right, now first to make it controlled, make the helicopter able to controlled by an AI, first I'll create an AI controller under all classes. AI helicopter. Right. So I'm not just going to make this complicated in the beginning. I just want this to be able to take off and stay a while, maybe move around a bit and land. That's all what I want to do for the AI for now. So but in order to control the helicopter, we have only configured it to be able to control by the player only. So to support AI controls, let me define few functions. This one actually don't have, the helicopter don't have any special blueprint interface. So first I'll create a blueprint interface, BPI helicopter. And set target location. So I'm going to use this to make the helicopter move automatically. I mean by automatically I mean through AI. So let's add a vector. actually if I call it target, it kind of sounds like the attack target, so I'll call it move target. Set move target. I'll call this move target. Right. Now in the helicopter, I'll implement that interface PPI helicopter. Right. So first, let's implement that set move target. Where? Maybe here. Set move target event. So I'll just promote this to a variable as move target. Also, I'll add another event, toggle, or maybe enable AI pilot, or let's call it autopilot. Well, let's not enable, let's say toggle, so that we can use the same function with a false parameter, false input, to disable it. So this should be a boolean. Enable toggle autopilot. Let's promote this one also to a variable autopilot. Let's create a different category for this AI, and I'll put move target also under AI. Well, I think it would be better if we define a different category for this move up, forward, boost, those things as well, like maneuver. That's enough organizing for now. Let's add a comment, AI control. Okay, now in the AI helicopter, let's get controlled phone and set move target. So let's get whatever the location of the controlled phone, get the location, and let's add, let's move it 2000 units above that location, and then let's call toggle autopilot. Let's enable it. Okay, so now for this one, I'll set, instead of AI controller, I'll set AI helicopter. So we can see it in action, but still this won't do anything because we haven't set up how does the movement inputs are applied to AI helicopter. So now let's look into that part. So let's first look into the takeoff part, which is handled through this move up. So I'll convert this to a macro so that I can reuse the same piece of code for the AI as well. Collapse to macro, move up, M stands for macro. Let's rename A as axis value. Right, now let's add a custom event. Move up. Let's call it AI axis move up. And add an input of float axis value. So yeah, calling it AI axis doesn't sound right. AI axis input. AI input axis. Oh, that's better. So I'll use the same move up code. Okay, now in the tick, let me start collapse node here. Oh wait, I don't need a function, just some node. AI move up. Right, so this is just to get some space here. Yeah, let's add a branch. The condition is if autopilot is enabled, I have to call AI input axis move up. So how do we calculate this axis value? So we have the move target, and also we can get at the location, the current location of that. Split this. This is the target location. Subtract both values, just the Z value because we are only considered about move up or down, and then let's clamp this in between -1 and +1. Right, now let's simulate this without playing so that I can check this helicopter and see what happens. And you can see it's add giving move up input, that's why it started its engine. Right, now why isn't it taking off? Applied, but still not going up. Okay, all right, so this part actually, let me come comment, move up, put. So this part actually only apply the engine power, update RPM, but it does not apply any upward movement input. That part is happening in the tick if it is not crashing under flying part. So here upward movement is move up is calculated like this. Get move up input axis value and move up and loop. So okay, so we can do something like this. We can do a select float using autopilot. If autopilot is enabled, if autopilot is not enabled, we have to rely on the get move up, which returns the move up input axis value. But if not, get the move target and get that location, subtract, wait, subtract, and get Z value, but we have to clamp it in, which is the same thing I did before, but I just do it here. So maybe, yeah, maybe let me cut it. We can just convert that part to a macro. Where is tick? Just added the comment so that I can see that part when I zoom out. Let's promote this to a function, get AI move up. Oh wait, we could just call this get move up value input, and I'll convert this to a pure function so that here we can select what we have to return based on autopilot. If we have enabled autopilot, we can return this, otherwise we can return get move up, oh no, just move up, which returns the player input, right? So well, now that I have done that, this part kind of seems redundant, but I'll allow it for now. Here, now instead of this part, I'll use get move up input like this. Now let's try. See, now it is taking off. Cool. Okay, now let's say in 15 seconds. I'll repeat the same thing, but this time I'll make it land. To make it land, what we have to do is get a lower point which is lower than the ground. So I'll make it whatever the current location and set target value 3000 units below. So that will definitely give us a point lower than the ground. Right, now let's see if it can land. Okay, it takes off successfully. And landed. And stop. Great. So that is working. I'll make it 25 seconds so that you would have some time, and let me apply the same AI to this chopper as well. So that we can see if it is working on the child class as well, and it seems working without any issue. Great. Both chippers are taking off. So here we can see because of this these shaders are translucent, that's why we can see the glass like over the dust field. That is something we should address later. Okay, so they can take off and land successfully, and I'm gonna stop this episode right here. And this is that material, but this M-glass material don't have that issue. So M-glass, this is M-glass of this helicopter. So let me just apply that on this helicopter, on the attack helicopter, to resolve that transparency issue. The glass mat, glass. Right, now let's check. Alright, there are two places where I have to apply glass material. So glass, right, apply it here also. Now it should work. Great. we can install this result. So thanks for watching. As always, project files will be available for the download in the Patreon page. Link will be in the description below. And if you like to support my work, you can get the membership of the Patreon club. See you in another episode. Goodbye.